We are going live. We're getting the YouTube live up. Glory be to God. All right, greetings, everyone. We are here on the YouTube live as well as the Facebook live. Glory be to God. So we just thank God for this day that He has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Glory be to God. How is everyone? Hope that you are doing well on today. It's time to get busy. It's time to get up. It's time to get it on and cracking. We've had a long holiday weekend. Glory be to God. And I wanted to give you that. Glory be to God. But today we're back in the saddle with morning manna at 8 a.m. And we're going to give everyone a few minutes to get on. Glory be to God. All right. And we're getting through the 1 year Bible. And for your reading this morning, I'm going to be reading yesterday and today. Glory be to God. Only because I wasn't able to be with you all yesterday, obviously, because of the holiday. And when there is a holiday, we won't um, go live, we won't go on. But we thank God for today. Today is Tuesday, January 21st. And some morning announcements. We want to thank God. The celebration for uh, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his day, we celebrated, and as I'm sure a lot of you did, to recognize his accomplishments and also historical accomplishments in Black history, period. A lot of pivotal moments, and it's amazing how time flies. You know how I remember when certain people were alive and I could see them on TV, and now they're gone. So, life is so precious. And that's why I believe it's so important for us to love and forgive and to stick together. Glory be to God, in our families, as a people, just the human race, period. Because life is so short. And look, and what once a person is gone, they're gone. That's it. And so we thank God for an opportunity that we can come together and give God this time. We're coming into the stretch of our fast, which will be over on Friday. And so, well, not this Friday, but next week. So we thank God for that. Um, the Greensboro Symphony, tribute to Aretha Franklin and other musical pioneers, was amazing. It was awesome. Everything turned out beautiful. Got a little footage and just amazing. I mean, you have to be there to hear that orchestra play. They are amazing. So it was a blessing on Saturday to be with them. Don't forget, on next Sunday at 6:30 p.m., we are having a a wonderful uh, prayer board party, and it's really a vision casting event for us. It's a virtual event for all of us. If you are a person that believes in casting vision for your life, making a plan for your life, we would like for you to come on and share. And we're going to be making prayer boards during this time. So it's next Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We don't want you to miss it. It's going to be on Zoom. So the Zoom link will be posted, and we want you all to, just come and be a part of it. It's a great time to just carve out some time in your life to just focus on vision, to just focus. It's sometimes you just gotta take a moment to just sit still for a minute and focus on one thing. Glory be to God. So this will give us all an opportunity to just think about the things that we have, that we would like to see happen in our lives this year. And it's a great thing to do. The Bible says to write the vision, and to make it plain so that those that read it can run. So there's no sense in trying to run and you have no plan. There's no sense in trying to go through this year with no plan. And there's a saying that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we don't want to fail, if at all possible, at anything on this in this year. And so we want God to bless everyone. Amen. Glory be to God. God bless you, woman of God. Sister Golda, it's a blessing to see you this morning. And I hope that you're going to plan to attend next Sunday to our vision casting party. It's going to be via Zoom. So the link will be posted. The Zoom information will be posted, and we're excited. And so just look for the Zoom link to be posted. I'll make sure that that's posted between now and Friday. It's probably going to be posted sometime today or tomorrow, so that you all will have the link to just go on and be on the Zoom. Glory be to God. And we just want to carve out that time just to, spend together as encouragement and inspiration. We want you to come on and share your thoughts, talk about, just not everything, but, maybe one or two things that you really would like to see done this year. Glory be to God. So you can have, these are short-term goals, things that you want to do within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, things that you want to accomplish. And like myself, some of you have already gotten started. I know I've gotten started. I've started my master's program in social work, and tonight I start my program for natural hair school because I want to get my confidence so that I can begin doing other people's hair. How about that? So many people ask me about doing their hair because I do my own hair. I've been doing my own natural hair since 2019, and I just not had the confidence. But if anyone knows my history, my mother, my biological mother, she was a cosmetologist and she did hair and nails all my life. So the gift is there. Glory be to God. And so we're going to tap into that. And I also want to plan. I've been doing a lot of work in the last quarter of 2024 to learn everything I needed to do to launch my new business. So by the time the weather break, I'll be ready for a formal launching of my LLC. Glory be to God. So we've got to get moving. We've got to get going, and you've got to use these gifts that God has given you. If you know the parable about the men with the talents, you know, the person who had one talent didn't even use it. And God, he was angry with that person because he was like, you haven't made no money. You haven't done anything to prove that I've given you this talent, to prove that you appreciate this talent. You have not multiplied anything. So, excuse me, this is the year of change and a year of God's power. So we've got to change these mindsets, and we've got to begin to work and do and make plans and execute the plans. Because, it's not enough to just talk about it and write the plan and write the vision. We got to also execute it. Glory be to God. So I have some things planned, and you can move in silence, just Just let people see the change in your life. Glory be to God. You might have weight loss goals. That's one of mine. And I even have a plan for that. Glory be to God. So, a lot of change. This is a year of change and the year of God's power. You're going to see, glory be to God, a lot of change is taking place, first natural, then spiritual. So, as we see these changes taking place, naturally, just know spiritually, change should be taking place in our lives. Glory be to God. So, without further ado, just don't forget. On this next Sunday, the 26th, not this Sunday, but well, yeah, it is this Sunday. This Sunday, the 26th at 6:30 p.m., we're having our little virtual vision casting party. It's going to be where we're making our prayer boards, we're writing our vision, however you want to do it. You can do it in a notebook, you can do it, on construction paper, you can do it on a cork board, a poster board, you can have pictures. I know for my prayer board this year, I'll be using envelopes with little pieces of paper or postcards to write my prayer requests, what I'm putting before the Lord. And as God does it, then I'll be able to unseal it and write done on the card. Glory be to God that God has done it. And God has already started operating in my life. He's already started. There's two things and actually three in the workings. And I'm just so grateful. And I just thank God. I have, some more things before the Lord, of course. And one of the biggest is launching my LLC. So that is something that I'm in preparation of. You can't just start a business. You got to, count up the cost and make sure you put things in order. Praise the Lord. And so that's what I'm doing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our reading. And we've already talked for a while, so we'll read through pretty quickly. Glory be to God. For yesterday, January 20th, starts at Genesis 41:17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river seven kine, fat-fleshed as and well favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, seven other kine came up after them, poor and very ill favored and lean flesh, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill favored kin did eat up the first seven fat kind. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill favored as at the beginning. So I awoke and I saw in my dream, and behold, seven ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, seven ears withered, thin and blasted, with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the seven good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, Joseph, our dreamer, he said, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God had showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The seven good kind are 7 years, and the seven good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. The seven thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years, and the seven empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. And this is a lesson. When God speaks something twice, whether it's open prophetically, whether it's to you privately, whether it's in a dream, a vision, a thought, and it keeps coming up, that means God wants to do it. Glory be to God. So if something, that is coming up before you, and you're walking in the spirit and you are a child of God, this you need to pay attention to. And if it's done twice, you know, in a short period of time where you thought of it twice, where you envisioned it twice, you dreamed of it, then surely God wants to do it and he wants to do it quick. It's coming shortly. So you need to pay attention. I want us to be mindful this year. And I was given a special a gift, and it's a journal booklet. And anyone knows me, I love journals. Journals, it is a way of life for me. And I've gotten out of using journals, but this year I'm getting back into them. And so um this is a special journal. It has the fruit of the spirit and everything, but this was a gift. But you can get any type of notebook, journal, booklet, and you're going to need several, because if you're going to be writing every single day, every single night, every time you have a dream, every time you get a message, every time you have a thought, every time you have an idea, you need to write it down. Now, I've already started my journaling. What I do is in a notebook, I write the today's date, and then I start writing the things, the events that are taking place in my day. So I encourage you to start, get you a notebook and start writing down things in your journal. Now, the last time I wrote something in my journal was on the 14th. It looks like um, and so, different things happen. I had a conference call. I called in reference to getting something done on another day, and I just write down all the phone numbers, who I spoke to. If I have a dream or a vision, I write that down as well. What happens is you can go back and read these things to be reminded of the things that of your plan, of your accomplishments, of what you're trying to do, and you can start checking things off. And also a planner. So when we come on next Sunday, I want you to have a journal, I want you to have a planner, or I want you to have a notebook, and I want you to have a planner. And we're going to begin to write out. So the first thing we're going to do before we start our vision casting is we're going to be writing down, 5 to 6 things that we want to see done, or 5 to 6 areas. Glory be to God. God must really want to bless you with this, because he keeps having me to go back to it. You have to put your prayers before the Lord, and you have to put your prayers before your family, and you have to put your prayers before yourself. So every day you're meditating on this, every day, every night. And so until these things manifest in your life, glory be to God, there is a such thing as manifestations. And that's what answered prayers are. They're manifestations of your prayers. Glory be to God. Well, let's continue to read. And so that was Genesis. I need to write it down. And I'm losing all my pens and everything, but I have some more around here somewhere. So today is the 21st. So Genesis, this is 41 and 32. And it talks about the Lord showing us things twice. When he show it to you twice, when you hear it twice, when you vision it and dream about it twice, it's coming to pass. So you need to pray, and you need to get some insight, and you need to allow and ask God's power to operate, to manifest what manifest what you desire, and to kill what you do not desire. Oh, yeah, there's a flip side to it. So Genesis 41 and 32. And now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out at the man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those days, those good years that come, and lay up corn under the land of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities, that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. thou shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck. And they made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath Paneah, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. So this is another thing. When Pharaoh appointed him as a leader, and I don't have time to go into it, but this is important. This is Genesis 41, I believe. Yeah, Genesis 41 and um and 40, what is it? 45. When God appoints a leader, he also gives them a mate. Glory be to God. So there, and I don't have time to go into it, but there are a lot of leaders, men who are in leadership roles, but they don't have a mate, they don't have a wife. And this could become problematic, and it is problematic, especially in the church. But I don't have time to go through that right now. But just know you want to be under a leader that has a mate, that has a spouse, that has family, because if they can lead their family, then they can lead the church. If they can lead their family well, they can lead the church well. A lot of single people struggle because they, not lead. They struggle spiritually because naturally they're not able to lead in family. That goes for whoever it is. And so this goes across the board. Even me as a single mom, I have to manage things and with God's grace and help until my mate comes. Glory be to God. But then the mate that you choose as a single woman, he needs to be able to lead well. He needs to be able to provide well, lead, take care of things. Glory be to God. Create and follow the plan of God and seek the face of God and be a godly man. So these lead the family into prayer, lead the family to God, lead the family into prosperity, lead the family into a lot of things, everything that is supposed to happen with that family. So a lot of men blame women and say it's that woman, but just like God told Adam, no, you can't blame the woman. I told you, Adam, I told you, man, I gave the commandment to you. She's only supposed to help you with whatever I commanded you to do as a man. So and I don't have time to go into that. And that's why when a man come talking about what do you have to bring to the table, and are you willing, are you interested in 50-50 and all of this? This is not a man that's ready to lead. This is not a man that's a godly man ready to lead. He's not ready. Glory be to God. No, you will take full responsibility of what God has commanded you to be, Ephesians 5, as a man of God, as a husband. And so we should be dating as single women, and single men. We should be dating for marriage, not just for a lay, not just for somebody temporarily, a body to keep you warm. No, that's not the plan of God. The plan of God is for us to be fruitful, multiply in all things. And so if you're after childbearing years like I am, I'm not having no more babies. Glory be to God. I'm a nana, so we're not having no more babies. But whatever God gives me, I want to multiply it. Whatever God does, gifts and things that he brings in my life, I want to make it great and multiply it and accomplish things and, be great, and so, and if you got two people together and they don't have two pennies to rub together and they can't seem to get over, then you need to question your heart and you need to question, the plan of God for your life, because it makes no sense for two people to be together and they can't accomplish, be fruitful and multiply in all things. I'm talking about in work, business, home. I'm talking about not just childbearing, but just everything, being fruitful and multiplying it. Glory be to God. And I don't have time to get into that, but leaders should be married. That's the point. Glory be to God. So after Pharaoh did that, um, and in the 7 years of plenteousness, the earth brought forth handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field, which was around about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born two sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said he had made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second child was Ephraim, for God had caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness, and that was in the land of Egypt, were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come across, as Joseph had said, and the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto him, all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph, what he had said to do to you do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came into Egypt Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was sore in all the lands. Now when Joseph that there was corn. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do ye look one upon another? She said, why are you standing around looking at each other? Glory be to God. And he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. And Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob, sent not with his brother, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself stranger to them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan, to buy food. So you see, after you've gone through, and this is a blessing right here. And this is Genesis 42 and 7. Genesis 42 and 7. When you go through, and when people forsake you, throw you in the ditch, push you to the side, and years later, they won't even notice you. They won't even notice who you are. They don't even recognize you. Glory be to God. You will recognize them, because what? Nothing has changed. So a lot of people that God is causing you to let go and separate from, years later, they're not going to recognize you, because you're going to a higher level. You're being elevated, and you have to leave some people behind. And those same people that you're leaving behind, years later, they're going to look the same. They're going to have no change, because they are not elevating. They're not accepting the spirit of change, and evolution is not taking place. They're not evolving. They're not looking to be greater. They're not looking to be better. Glory be to God. And so when Joseph saw his brethren and they came, he recognized them, but they did not recognize him. They didn't think much of him anyway. There's people that don't think much of you. So these are not the people that you need to surround yourself with. If you find yourself around people that don't think nothing of you, they don't respect nothing of you, they don't honor what you say, nothing you say makes sense, they don't receive what you say. You can say something and somebody else say the same thing, and they can take what the other person said, but what you say, they don't acknowledge that at all. Those are people that They don't see any value in you. All right. And when people don't see value in you, there's a separation that will come. Glory be to God. And years later, as you continue to value yourself and receive the plan of God for yourself and begin to elevate in the Lord and, and go to new places and new levels and meet new people and evolve and grow and pursue and have success, people are not going to recognize who you are. They're going to look and say, wow, is that who I think it is? They're not even going to recognize you in most cases because you're going to be a total changed person. Glory be to God. By the end of this year, many of you are going to be totally transformed. And people that you have to leave, that you had to leave in 2024, that you've had to cut off in recent years, they're not even going to recognize who you are. Glory be to God, because you've left that place where they are, and now you've gone over to the promised land. You've gone over to the land of plenty, the prosperity, and everything else in your life will begin to operate. So don't worry about the battles that you face, and don't worry about the things that you're having to go through right now. Just know, as you keep pressing, as you keep seeking the Lord, as you keep going to God, and going to him in prayer and going to him asking for wisdom and knowledge and answers, as God begins to manifest these answers and manifest these blessings, people are not going to recognize who you are. Glory be to God. But how bad do you want it? And are you willing to do the work? Glory be to God. Joseph let his gift, because the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. It doesn't mean that those men will bless you, but you will come before people and they will see the God in you. They will see the gift in you, that you will not be denied. Glory be to God. You will not be denied. And God spoke to us last week, or maybe in the week before that when you enter the room, God enters the room. Glory be to God, because God is in you. God is in you, our hope of glory. God is in you. The Spirit of God is in you. So when you enter the room, God enters the room. When you enter the conversation, God enters the conversation. Glory be to God. So don't take lightly who you are. Glory be to God. All right. And let's keep on reading. Ooh, this is good. This is good. All right. And we were down at the 7th verse. So reading the 8th verse. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. And that's some people that you done grew up with, people that you done spent 20, 30, 40 years with, and they act like they don't even know you, and they might not be active. They really may not recognize who you are. Glory be to God. And that's fine. But after a while, because of where God sets you, the high places that God sets you, the change that takes place in your life, and the power of God that operates in you, they will see you. They will eventually see you, and they will have to recognize you, and they will have to honor and value who you are in God. They will have to honor and value the God in you. Glory be to God. And Joseph remembered the dreams that which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, ye are spies to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, nay, my Lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, nay, but to thee, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, thy servants are 12 brethren and sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that is it. And I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved by the life of Pharaoh. Ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into war 3 days. Glory be to God. And let's read the Old Testament for today, the 21st. Keep on reading. Genesis 42, verse 18. And Joseph said unto them, his brothers, the 3rd day, this do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses, and bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, we are very airily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come up on us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. So they started speaking in a different language. So the enemy will try to speak and think you don't understand the language. You will understand exactly what they're saying. You can know and act like you don't know. Glory be to God. You can see and act like you don't see. Glory be to God. And that's what Joseph did. And he turned into himself about them and wept and returned to them again and communed with them and took from them Simeon and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn and to restore every man's money into his sack and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they ladded their asses with the corn and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender, in the end, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it's even in my sack. And their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is that God has done unto us? And they said, and they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And he said unto them, We are truly men, and we are no spies, but we be 12 brethren, sons of father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Joseph their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not. And ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my two sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. In other words, he said, I'm going to die. God bless you, my woman of God. Sister Sharon, good morning. We're reading the one-year Bible. We're being blessed on this morning. Glory be to God. And the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest against us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send your brother with us, send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. If thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had a brother? So I tell you, Israel, he is just going through. He said, First, you done took my oldest son, and he's not here. Now I got one son left, um, of his mother, and now you want to take him. I can't take it if something happened to him. And now he's saying, Now why did you even tell him you had another brother? It's human nature. It's just showing us it's human nature to start blaming and making excuses, when something happens. And, we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. If you trust God, and if you're honest and truthful, stop having an excuse. Stop casting blame. Stop making an excuse. And you know what? I've been going through a situation with somebody, and every time something happens, it's an excuse. It's something else. They never keep their word. I'm going to do this. They don't do it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do better. They don't do it. They don't get better. As a matter of fact, they've gotten worse. And so, what happens is once you continue to tolerate, see, people get comfortable, see, and they go from bad to worse. Glory be to God. But you can allow people to hang themselves on their own rope. You can allow people to cut off their foot, save the hand, because a person's true nature will come forth. When they get comfortable, they'll get forth. But if you keep tolerating it, it's going to keep happening, and it's going to keep worse and worse. So that is a word even to me. How do you set boundaries and show people that's non-negotiable, that's not acceptable? Glory be to God. Well, you have to not accept it. It's just as simple as that. All right, I don't have time to stay there. And Judah said unto Israel his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. And I will surety, for it will be surety for him of my hand, thou shalt thou require him. If I bring him nigh to thee and set him before thee, then let me hear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we have returned the second time. And their father Israel said unto him, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices, and myrrh, nuts, and almonds. And take double money in your hands, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks. Carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And so they had no choice. They had to go. They had no choice. Their backs were against the wall. They had no other choice. And that's where we get to the point, and that's where a lot of us are right now. If you don't do something now, you're gonna die. If you don't do something now, you're gonna die in Canaan. If you don't do something now, your situation is gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. What has God told you to do? You got to do it, and the time is now. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present and took their double money in their hand and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home and slay and make ready, and these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time we were brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, oh, sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sacks, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hands. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, peace be unto you. Fear not, your God and the God of your father have given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph, came at the noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed to themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, is your father well? And the old man of whom he spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And this was the dream that Joseph had dreamed when he was young, before they put him in the ditch. Excuse me for a second. All right. And let's keep reading. All right. God bless you. So this is good. And I love this story. So this is the dream. It came to pass. And so when you dream a dream, that's why it's so important to write down your dream. And so Genesis 42 and 28, the dream came to pass. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son. And he said, is this your younger brother and of whom you spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. He went to hide. He didn't want to cry in front of them. He washed his face and he went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread. And they set on for him by himself and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And they took and sent meat messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. They drank and were merry with him. Glory be to God. One of my favorite stories in the Bible, talking about Joseph. Glory be to God. All right, Matthew 13 and 24. This is reading from yesterday, January 20th, and we'll come into today's reading in the New Testament. Another parable put he, Jesus, forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And when this blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence then hath it tares? And he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? And he said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles, and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Another parable he set forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, when indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it grows, it is the greatest among herbs, and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. Another parable spake he unto them, the kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. All these spake Jesus unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. And Jesus sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. And he answered unto them, saying, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man, and the field is the world, and the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So there is a such thing as being a child of God, children of the kingdom, and being children of the wicked one, children of the devil. So that is something that is a real thing, and I don't have time to go into it, but you need to determine in your own life, are you the child of the king, or are you the child of the devil? Are you child of God or child of the wicked one? Glory be to God. So the enemy that sowed them in the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world. The Son of Man sent forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all the things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be a wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, that which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had, and bought it. Glory be to God. All right, so let's read our last two scriptures, the Psalms and Proverbs. We'll read the first one from the 20th, and then we'll read the one from today. All right, Psalms 18, verse 1 through 15. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer of my God, my strength in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. David, see, he knew how to worship God. He knew how to appease to God. He knew how to remind God how great God was and who God was in his life. And when doing that, God protected him from his enemies, and God blessed him and gave him everything he needed and caused him to triumph. Glory be to God. And so through worship, glory be to God. And that's why it's so important to worship God. And many times in our homes, we're not doing worship. We might pray. Some people, you might pray sometime. Do you pray every day? Do you worship every day? It's okay. And that's one of the things that other religions get right. But we as Christians, we get wrong a lot of times. We should be worshiping God every day. We should be praying and worshiping God every day, singing praises to the Lord every day. And how can you do that and listening to rap music and cussing and fighting and doing all the things that we see that happen? We can't do it. How can you even be around people who cussing and fighting and keeping up all kinds of saying? I mean, how can you? There's no worship. There's no adoration to God. There's no reverence to God in those situations. So we have to be more like David and worship and give God praise. And that's why in my car, I keep it on praise and worship, a gospel station. I mainly play gospel music in my car because, you know, I want to take God where I go, and especially in the car with all the accidents and poor drivers and just things happening outside your house. You should want to take God with you everywhere you go. Glory be to God. Reading on, the sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death presented me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even unto his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness a secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones of and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Proverbs 4 1 through 6. Hear, ye children, the instructions of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake not her, and she shall preserve thee. Her love her, and she shall keep thee. Glory be to God. All right. And the last two of January 21st, Psalms 18, verse 16 through 36. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, and they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore, had the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight, with the merciful thou shalt show thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou shalt show thyself froward. For thou wouldst save the afflicted people, but wilt deliver down high looks. For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord my God will lighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop, and my God have I leaped over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is God save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our God? It is God that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds feet and setteth me upon my high places. He teaches me my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. Thou hast also given me the shield of my salvation, thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, and my feet did not slip. Proverbs 4 verses 7 through 10. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. Talking about wisdom. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of his word. And we thank God for reading this good book. I ask you to go back, meditate on this on today. I'll meet you here again tomorrow, January 22nd. Tomorrow will be Wednesday, and we'll meet again here at 8 a.m. and every morning until Friday, and continue on to the end of this month and thereafter. We just thank God for who he is in our lives and what he is doing for us and through us. And I thank God for each and every one of you. Until tomorrow morning, remember, without God, we won't make it. But with God, all things are possible to those who believe. All right, have a blessed day in the Lord, and this ends Morning Manna.